Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or wherever you're joining from. So, welcome to our session on getting started with IT service management. My name is Greg Hollis, and I'm here with my colleague Brian Lamb. We are both outbound product managers who work on ITSM. So, our goal today is really simple. We want to help you understand what you own, where to get started, and ultimately how to succeed with ServiceNow, with ITSM on ServiceNow. So with that, I'll jump right in. Before we go further, our safe harbor notice, if you've been on ServiceNow webinars before, you've definitely seen this. So this presentation may contain some forward-looking statements. Please note that's based on our understanding and assumptions right now, so don't make any decisions based on what you're seeing, as it's subject to change. Okay, so now some housekeeping. So a couple things I want to go over before the webinar. So one is we have saved time for Q&A at the end. Please use the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen to ask any questions you may have. We'll try and answer them throughout the session. We'll also flag some to discuss live at the end, but Brian or I will be manning the Q&A, trying to answer them as they come up. Please try and keep them in the Q&A, not the chat. They very quickly get lost in the chat, so it's really easier for us if we keep them all in the Q&A. Second, so this presentation will be recorded. Um, and it will be shared with all of you after the event. Also, you'll get access to the deck as well. Um, we're going to go over a lot of different sites, resources. There's going to be a lot of different links, so don't feel pressure to screenshot things or scramble to take notes. You'll get access to all of this after the event. And then finally, after the event, you'll be asked to submit a short survey. We really Please complete this if you have a minute. Your feedback always helps us make these events better. And really what we want to do is, optimize these and make them as helpful as we can for you. So we appreciate your feedback. Here's just a quick plug. So this is a live on ServiceNow event. If you're not familiar, I'll go into a bit more detail about what that means. But if you want to see the schedule, feel free to scan this link. There'll also be a link on the slide later in the chat that has some of these details. But I wanted to flash it up now. Okay. So now the agenda. So what we're going to cover today. So we're going to start by giving you an understanding of what you own, depending on your ITSM package. So we have the standard, Pro, and Enterprise, and also our Pro Plus and Enterprise Plus packaging. So we'll walk through what all of those consist of. Next, we're going to go into where to find best practices and implementation paths specific to your business needs. So as you kickstart your ITSM journey, how are you going to chart a course for the most efficient deployment? What type of implementation are you going to do? What are the options available to you? We'll walk through all that. And then we're going to spend a lot of time at the end really just going through all of the essential resources and must-have tools that will really help you, every step of the way. It'll be a lot of just showing you what the different ServiceNow properties are, where the different assets are located. So just giving you all the different assets. You'll have access to the deck and you can access the links whenever. So really everything to make this onboarding and your implementation as smooth as possible. With that, I will send it over to Brian to walk through the packaging.
Morning, everyone. My name is Brian. Excited to have you guys here on the webinar with us. I'm going to walk you guys through the ServiceNow ITSM platform and all the various SKUs or packages that we offer. Hopefully, this will help you understand what you own, what applications you can use, etc., etc. So let me start from the top. ServiceNow, a very broad platform, but today we're really just going to focus on the ITSM or IT service management piece. This is really the foundation of where ServiceNow began. So before diving into the packages, I want to talk about some of the shared platform components that every ServiceNow solution offers, not just ITSM. We have features such as reporting and dashboards. This is a unified analytics platform across all the different modules. Knowledge management, this is a centralized location where all reusable information for both your service desk agents and also end users will live. We have the mobile app to allow any ServiceNow user to access workflows on the go. And then we also have the CMDB or Configuration Management Database. This is the backbone for organizing servers, services, and the dependencies between them. So these components are all critical because ITSM will build on top of them. So let's talk about the three ITSM packages we have. The first is that we have ITSM standard. The core modules within this package include incident, problem, change, request, service catalog, and also walk-up experience. And these are all accessible through the Service Operations Workspace, which is our modern UI for streamlining workflows. Next, let's talk about ITSM Pro. So if you buy Pro, you will get everything in standard, and you'll also get Pro features such as Virtual Agent, which is our chatbot, predictive intelligence, performance analytics, and also dynamic translation for multilingual support centers. We also have features like DevOps change velocity and digital product release. These are aimed at streamlining and automating your change and release processes. Next, I'm going to talk about ITSM Enterprise. So if you buy Enterprise, you'll get everything in Standard, you'll get everything in Pro, and on top of that, we'll add process mining for data-driven optimization and also workforce optimization for large-scale operations. One last thing I want to add is that in the very middle of this slide, you'll see that we have Now Assist listed. Now Assist requires the Pro Plus or Enterprise Plus SKU, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. Now Assist is our generative AI offering, and we have seamlessly integrated it into various capabilities across all the applications within Standard, Pro, and Enterprise. So things like incident management, change, virtual agent. If you have the Now Assist SKU, you can use the generative AI capabilities related to applications such as those. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper into what the main differences are between Standard, Pro, and Enterprise. So Standard is really ideal for growing businesses starting with structured processes. So really, if you're just getting started, Standard is our recommendation. Pro is actually our most popular tier, and it adds intelligence and automation features on top of what's offered in Standard, and this is really targeted for more mature customers. Enterprise is designed for highly complex environments that need advanced analytics and optimization to make sure all your workflows are seamless. So depending on what you want, choosing what you want will depend on your implementation strategy. And so knowing what you own is really step one. Let's talk a little bit about the Pro Plus and Enterprise Plus SKUs. So like I mentioned before, if you purchase Pro Plus or Enterprise Plus, you will get access to Now Assist, our generative AI offering. If you buy Pro Plus, you'll get ITSM Standard, you'll get ITSM Pro, and you'll get Now Assist. If you have Enterprise Plus, you'll get Standard, Pro, Enterprise Apps, and Now Assist. So what does Now Assist include? Some of the features I do want to highlight here is that if you have Now Assist, you can start leveraging agentic workflows or AI agents. You'll be able to start using LLM-powered search, and you'll also be able to use our new LLM-powered virtual agent. All of these are aimed at making your existing search, virtual agent chatbot more efficient. And the AI agents can also help take over certain workflows and fully automate them on behalf of your end users. So let's move into the key components. These are the applications that you are absolutely going to have to be familiar with and use. And these are what we consider the core features of ITSM. So no matter which SKU you have, we do recommend using these features. We're not going to go into really deep detail during this session, but I do want to give you a high level understanding of what each of them do. So the first three I'm going to talk about are CMDB, incident, and change. CMDB is very much the backbone of ITSM. This is a platform functionality that stores information about all your configuration items, such as physical assets, servers, virtual machines, applications, or even abstract services. Incident management, this is all about restoring normal service as quickly as possible when something breaks. This enables your service desk agents to assign and respond to incidents in a more timely and organized manner. Finally, change management. This really aims to ensure that updates, patches, new deployments all happen in a very controlled way that does not cause service outages. At the bottom of some of these columns that you see on the screen, you'll notice that there's a green sparkle. So under incident management, you have agentic workflows, incident summarization, resolution note generation. These are the generative AI capabilities which are included with the Now Assist SKU that really aim to further enhance the existing functionalities of each of these respective applications. Okay, next slide, please. So the last three I want to talk about, knowledge, requests, and service operations workspace. So knowledge, hopefully this is not, hopefully everyone's familiar with knowledge, but really it's to create and maintain articles for repeatable fixes and also encourage employee self-service so you avoid creating a ticket in the first place. Request management is all about fulfilling requests efficiently through catalog or through various other workflows. Again, it really aims at deflecting any potential tickets or incidents from being created by encouraging self-service. The last thing I want to talk about is Service Operations Workspace. This is the new modern UI that you will use to access each of the 5 applications. And in fact, a lot of the other applications within ServiceNow will also be utilized through Service Operations Workspace. So this was a very high level overview. Next, we're going to show you where you can access additional resources, training, documentation, so you become much more adept at implementing your ServiceNow for ITSM. Let me turn it over to Greg.
Okay, great. Thanks, Brian. So now you understand what you own at a high level and some of the core functionalities. Brian, went in detail on 6 of them. There's a ton of others. So the next step is really to take a deeper dive into ITSM and really understanding how all these applications work together and really what you can accomplish using ITSM and the ServiceNow platform. So really the first step we recommend is the ITSM fundamentals training course, part of on our ServiceNow University site. So it's a 2-day long training that will give you a much more thorough understanding of everything you can do. Like I said, with the Now platform and ITSM, it's available both as a live instructor-led course and also on-demand formats. So this is really a key first step for anyone new to ITSM, new to ServiceNow, or anyone who just needs a refresher on what all these capabilities are. You'll notice I have the link here, if anyone wants to take a look. And I'm going to cover this in a bit more detail, but we have a vast library of other courses, certifications that you can complete. So just for now, what's important to remember is the first step we recommend is ITSM fundamentals here. Okay, so now you understand what you bought, you know where you can go for your initial training. So you're probably asking, what's next? Do I jump right into my implementation, or what do I do? What do I do now? So the first thing you should do is really meet with your leadership team and discuss your overall ITSM strategy, direction, and goals. So ITSM lets you supercharge your service experience, but you don't need to do everything at once. Brian showed you some of the products that we have. You don't need to jump into all these right away. It really depends on what you want to accomplish with and what you want to get out of the platform. So you may want to improve your incident response time. You may want to reduce your service desk workload. Maybe you're trying to pinpoint areas for service improvement, or maybe you want to just automate and infuse AI wherever possible. So you could do all these things, you could do none of them, or maybe just one of them. The idea is that these are the important questions you need to ask so you have a better understanding of where you want to go with the platform, and where you want to go with your services. This will make sure you start your implementation correctly and you start in the right direction and set yourself up for success. Okay, so now that you've spoken with your leadership team and you understand what your strategy is, it's time to implement. Um, and I want to walk through now the three different paths to begin your implementation. So the first two of these paths are going to be working with a vendor. And I put a note up top, 90, I think 90% or so of our customers choose one of the first two paths, and then they do choose to work with the vendor. So the first vendor is going to be ServiceNow ourselves. So we have a group called Expert Services, and you can work with your account team, or you can go to the Expert Services site, which is linked here, to learn how they can help you with your implementation. So they'll work with you on your strategy, and your goals, and you can really structure this engagement to look however you want. It can be a 1 month engagement, 6 months, full year, or longer. So it really just depends on what your strategy is, what your goals are, and what you're looking to implement. So very flexible to work with these teams to design the offering that you want. So the second option is very similar, except that this vendor is now a third-party partner. So you can use our partner finder here that's linked to see all the different options available to you. And these partners will work with you in a very similar fashion to our internal expert services. So think organizations like an Accenture, a DXC, Cognizant, just to name a few, but there are hundreds of different partners to choose from. We have a partner finder here. You can access that, put in what you want, what your goals look like, which apps you want to implement, maybe what region you're in, and then it'll help you narrow down partners you may want to reach out to. You can also work directly with your account team on identifying partners and who might be the best fit. They're a really great resource here as you're, assessing these different options. And then finally, the third option, which only 10% of our or so customers do, is self-implementation. So I'm by no means saying don't do this, but definitely approach it with a bit of trepidation. I think generally the reason a lot of customers don't do this is just because it's difficult. There's a lot to unpack with ITSM, and you may have own other ServiceNow products as well. So there's really just a lot going on and a lot. You want to make sure you do all the pre-work to make sure you get started right the first time. So if this is a route you want to take, just make sure you and your team are completing all the appropriate trainings, getting the right certifications to make sure you're setting yourself up to succeed both immediately and also in the longer term. Additionally, as you get started, it's important to do your best to stick close to out of the box so you can take advantage of new functionality that's delivered with each store and family release moving forward. So all different considerations before you decide how you want to implement. And once again, so we have links here with details about each that you can explore. And then I would also just encourage you to speak with your account team. They'll be give you some really good guidance, based on specifically what you want to achieve, which products you're looking at, and all that. Okay, so now hopefully you have a general understanding of the different packages, what's included in those packages, where to go for your initial learning, and then the different paths to implement. So now I'm gonna spend the rest of the time in this presentation just walking you through all the different resources available to you. So if you're going down the self-implementation route, these will be key for you to build up your expertise. If you're planning on using a vendor, I still highly recommend all of these sites, both when you're starting your implementation and when you're developing your knowledge down the road. These are where the product teams, implementation teams, learning teams, developers, your peers, partners share best practices, resources, learnings, trainings, et cetera. So it's just all the key sites that you can access for more information. And before I go in, so I mentioned this earlier, I'm about to walk you through a bunch of different resources. So I hope it isn't too overwhelming. Just a reminder, you'll get a copy of this, and the key links for each site are on the slide. So no need to screenshot, to write everything down. You'll be able to get access to it. Okay. So the first site I want to cover is Now Create. So this is really a site for when you're ready to start an implementation. Now Create is a great first resource to check out. You can find step-by-step delivery guidance for different products and also different outcomes that have all been developed based on real-world experiences and proven leading practices from our implementation teams and our different implementers. So what you'll find on this site, they're called success packs, and they're a collection of different processes and assets that you can execute to accomplish an outcome. So for example, if you want to implement Now Assist for ITSM, we have a success pack that will guide you through this process. The success pack consists of assets, which are process guides, workshop decks, white papers, playbooks, and all different resources to guide you through the process, all the way from selling the value to your executives, the organizational change management, planning through your implementation, and then actually doing the implementation. We have assets for the whole journey. So recommend you check this site out, particularly when you're ready to implement. So after you've had those conversations with your team, you've done some initial learning, then here's a good first resource to see which options are available to you and what we have guides to support. There's even a short 45-minute training on the site you can take to learn how to get the most out of the site and really how to maximize value using it. Okay, so speaking of training, I want to highlight ServiceNow University once again. I already brought up the ITSM fundamentals course, which is also linked here up top, but there are so many trainings and courses available. These trainings are organized by specific product. So you see ITSM fundamentals, we have application, there's the change management on the Now platform, and then they're also organized by function or certification or skill set. So you'll see the support specialist certification or the application developer certification. So these are really meant to build skills and uh, a set of skills that you can achieve, use to accomplish different goals. So we have everything from product expertise, if you want to deep dive on a specific product, if you want to learn how to become an implementer at ServiceNow, if you want to learn other skill sets, there's courses for all these. There's different learning paths you can follow and recommendations. So once again, this is just a handful of links that I want to include, but there's hundreds to choose from depending on which outcome you want to achieve. So once again, this really all flows from that. What do you want to get out of the platform? What are the top outcomes you want to get to? And this is what you need to learn. What skill gaps do you have, both for yourself and your team? Those are you can use the ServiceNow University to close all these gaps. Okay, next, I want to do a quick shout out to ServiceNow Impact. Impact is a paid service offering or a paid service offered by our customer success organization. I won't spend a ton of time here for now, but essentially you get access to adoption resources, tailored expertise, health tools, and 24/7 support. There are different packages you can purchase, and each comes with a different level of support. So this allows you to tailor your specific success plan to your business needs. To learn more, the links here, there are videos that you can watch that show exactly what you'll get out of it. There's also more detail on the site of the different tiers and offerings and what each one includes. So I would say Impact is another good one to speak with your account team about, and they can give you more info. But if you just want to explore and see what's available, that link's right here. Okay, so next we have product documentation. So product docs, this is the place to go if you're looking to get into the weeds of an implementation. So these docs are written by a combination of product managers and technical writers. So they are the most technical resources we have here available to customers. This is where you'll find information on setting up integrations, configuring your various applications, which plugins are required. Um, are there utilities to migrate your old data onto the new platform? How can you customize your instance? So really all the deeper technical questions They have answers here. These are organized by product, so you can go to ITSM, and then nested under ITSM are all the different applications. So you can go into incident within there, and then you can go to configure incident, learn more about incident, setup, so et cetera. So this is when um, you're doing your implementation. You want to know really hands-on keyboard. What do I need to do first? What do I need to do next? Docs has that guide here. So a lot of good stuff on here. There's some examples of different subsections, but if you want to poke around and just learn more about the platform in a more technical way, this is a great way to do that. Okay. Next we have community. So community is my favorite site out of all these. So it's your place to connect, share, and learn from the almost 900,000 members. So I like to think of it as the Reddit for ServiceNow. So if you didn't find answers to your questions on Docs, you can post it here. We have different forums where you can post them, and either ServiceNow experts or either ServiceNow experts from that are either internal to the company or external will respond. There's almost 3 million posts on the site today. So it's really very much a living, breathing, interactive forum for the whole, lack of a better word, community to interact. You see an example here of our ITSM forum. So you can post questions, there are articles, a lot of really good stuff. So in addition to just being able to post questions and interact directly with the product team, product teams are frequently posting their own articles, blogs, guides, videos, everything here as well. So as a PM myself, this is the main place I like to post adoption resources when I build them. So if you navigate to our digital product release or to our change management pages, you'll see all the different articles that I posted over the past year or two. So it's just a great tool. If you have a question and you search it, there's a very good chance that it's already been asked and it's already been answered. And if not, it'll get answered soon by one of the different experts. So the recording of this webinar, for example, will also be posted to the community. Um, and I'll try and show you where that's going to be. But just overall, it's a great resource. Really, pretty much at any point. So when you're getting started, just trying to learn more about ITSM, about the different applications, or further down the road when you're trying to take those next steps. I recently published a series on how to get started with digital product release, and it's a series of short videos walking you through the initial setup tasks. So a lot of different content for different wherever you are in your life cycle. There's good stuff here. So this is another site I would bookmark and come back to for all your questions. Okay. Directly related to community, we have our Live on ServiceNow events. So Live on ServiceNow is our series of live events, live interactive events that we host. For example, this webinar is a Live on ServiceNow event. It's a great way to stay updated with what's new, get implementation pro tips, connect with our ServiceNow community. We have ongoing academy sessions, focus on different domains or products. We have roundtable discussions with product experts, with our implementers, with your peers, interactive workshops that are more hands-on with a lab component, open office hours, et cetera. So a bunch of different event types. And these are all hosted by members of the product team and just product experts or folks who have been implementing for a long time. So this calendar gets published on community. So this link here has the calendar, it'll take you to a page like this, and you can click into IT Service Management. You can see all the different upcoming events. These are all free to join. You just register, and then you'll get the Zoom details. So you can register for whatever you want. There's also on-demand events. So the majority of these events, after they happen, they get recorded, and then they're also hosted on our community site. So this is where you can go to view all past events. So the recording of this webinar will be in this on-demand section. You can go into just search welcome to ITSM, or you can navigate around the list and you'll see it. But there's a ton of great content all posted here. For example, um, there's a link to this Modern Change Academy series that I helped run. last year. And it's just a good chunk of events all about change, how to get up and running with your change management, how to optimize it and whatnot. So different series, different events, all worth looking into. Really tied to this is YouTube. So we have a big presence on YouTube as well. So community itself extends there. There's a Live on ServiceNow YouTube channel. There's also a handful of other channels. We linked the support channel, which is run by our support team, also the dev channel, which is more technical, run by our developers, but a lot of ServiceNow videos, webinars, demos, product walkthroughs, feature highlights, they're all located on YouTube. So generally, any event on community is typically not always, but oftentimes they're hosted on YouTube. So if you can just search on YouTube for ServiceNow change and you'll find the events you want. So that's another good place to look if you're looking for um, just more support outside of reading through documentation, because I know that's not everyone's preference. Okay, so now I want to talk through the ServiceNow Store. So the store is a marketplace for certified app integrations that have been pre-tested and built by partners to help you extend the platform into new use cases. So when I say partners, um, store apps can really be built by certified partners. They can be built by customers, built by vendors, um, other ITSM companies. So it's really just a way to help extend use cases in case the platform isn't doing everything as you want it to do. So there are some of these plugins you can download, they're free, some are paid. You'll see it'll indicate which are free, which are paid. So in addition to third-party apps, a lot of our own internal products are moving towards the store as well. So as a product manager, if I move my application to the store, that just means I can release new features more frequently. So I can use a monthly cadence. Right now, ServiceNow does releases at the family. It's called a family release. So we're on Zurich right now. We do a release twice a year. But by moving to the store, I now have more flexibility and can deliver new features more frequently. So digital product release was one of the products I've been working on. We're on the store, so we are releasing pretty consistently and delivering new features. So um, once again, check out the store. You can explore what's out there, both from all of our third-party vendors and also our ServiceNow applications. When you access the store and you click into, for example, if I clicked into Employee Center here, it would also tell me if I have the right entitlement to download this for free or not. So that's one way to, as you explore it, it'll tell you if it's free and you have the entitlement or if it would require an additional purchase. So you can explore that and poke around if there's anything you want. Okay, so we only have a couple more slides now. Thanks for bearing with me. So here we have our in-product guidance. So I want to do a plug here. So everything else we've shown so far, these have all been resources that are external to the product. So the items on this slide, these are all in the product. So you can access them directly from your instance. So the three things I want to talk about first is guided setup. So more and more of our products and applications these days are being launched with a guided setup experience. So when you log into ServiceNow as an admin, you'll have access to the guided setup experience in your workspace. And this will have step-by-step instructions for how to get started. I'll go back to the digital product release example. When you go to the digital product release workspace, there's an admin center and they'll have all the initial setup steps you need to do to set up the application and start using it. So more and more of our products have that these days, and it's really good guidance on what to do first, what you should be thinking about, et cetera. So I think over the past couple of years, we've been adding that. So that's a a great tool for you. Next is the Admin Center. So Admin Center provides a central hub for platform owners and admins to access platform capabilities. You can discover new applications and you can get intelligent, actionable insights. So this is also built into your instance, so you can see what you're entitled to, what you've turned on, what you haven't. Within Admin Center, you get access to adoption blueprints. So these display the applications and features available to you and recommended solutions you can achieve using those products. So you can select a business goal. So in the picture here, it would be expand technology services while reducing costs. If that's what you want to do, you click See Details, and you can see which applications you need to accomplish that goal. which of those you've already turned on and which you need to turn on next. So it gives you a blueprint for how to achieve that outcome. So once again, this is in your instance, so it's tailored to your specific environment, what you're entitled to, what you have, what you don't, et cetera. So all good tools, once again, as you are starting your implementation and you're starting to turn on different applications, these are ways you can do it in product. And we're making a big investment as a company to improve our in-product guidance. So we should hopefully be delivering more and more features like this to make sure all the resources you need are available to you in your own instance. So you're not having to search docs, you're not having to search all these sites. They'll be there, but that's something we're continuing to invest in and will continue to evolve over time. But here's some of the examples of what you have access today. Okay. Last two slides, and I'm not going to cover them in much detail, but first we have our developer portal. So this is where you can request a developer instance, which is essentially a sandbox environment you can use for experimentation, for learning, for testing. Um, we have a new AI guide here, which I include a screenshot of that will help you navigate the portal and it'll help you request the right instance for what you want to do. So you can type in plain text, you can select these prompts, and it'll help you submit that instance request to get that developer instance that you can experiment with. It's not as powerful as a normal production instance of ServiceNow, but it's a great tool for seeing what's possible. So check that one out. And then finally, we have Now support. So as long as you have ITSM standard or above, this is another free resource you can access, and you can access it 24/7. So when things break or something isn't working like it's supposed to, this is where you can submit a ticket to get it fixed. So there's a it's not a black hole. These tickets do get a lot of attention from our support team. Oftentimes they'll loop in product managers to help resolve tickets. So this is really a tool you can use, and I don't expect it when you submit something, it's just gone. These absolutely get followed up on. So when something isn't working, you need the support, you can submit tickets here. So I think that is okay. That's all the slides we had. Thank you all for joining today. Hopefully this was helpful. Once again, be on the lookout for the recording and for the deck. I put my email in the chat if you have any questions. So have a great rest of your day, and thanks for hopping on.